Hello there, album enjoyers.
Dearest album enjoyers, we speak to you now very briefly to quickly plug the Enjoy an Album Patreon, aka Becoming an Ultra.
We are plugging Becoming an Ultra. Not the things that you get by being an Ultra, we are plugging the experience of becoming an Ultra.
If that's not the number one reason to become an Ultra, I don't know what is. No. It's just £5 per month. If you've ever listened to this podcast and thought, I like these fellas, I enjoy listening to their 4 free hours of content that they put out every month, I would like to purchase them a pint or a coffee one time. This is a way of doing that. But you get exclusive content in return.
You get exclusive content in return. You get full episodes on albums such as...
recently we did Grimes
Visions, Ed Sheeran's Divide.
Yes, we did Anoni and the Johnsons. We did the Pogues.
And the Pogues.
We did
Rum Sodomy and the Lash by the Pogues.
The Foo Fighters.
Yeah, that was a sad one.
We did Idols. Black Country New Road.
Yeah.
Also,
Ants from Up Here.
You would have access to the Edinburgh Fringe Enjoy an Album live show.
We done a live show at Monkey Barrel Comedy Club. We fucking ripped it and shipped it. People were saying that's...
People were saying it's one of the best things they've ever seen in their lives, including The Godfather. They said it was better than The Godfather.
People actually did say that it was the funniest thing they'd seen at the Fringe, and they weren't even fucking worms, never mind ultras. They were just like, that was really funny.
Yeah, like...
They didn't even like us as people, and they went, that was funny.
Yeah.
Which is mental.
Yeah, so get on that. You also get ad-free experience.
Some of my biggest enemies have said that that's the best thing I've ever seen.
Barack Obama himself was in the audience. Chris Rowe, that was... let me be clear. That was a fantastic live show.
Let me be clear. I hate you. But that's funny.
Zane Lowe has watched it twice.
Zane Lowe, he played it on his... He played the whole live episode.
He dropped it twice in a row.
Just like Barack Obama dropped bombs on various countries.
That was a fantastic live show. So you also get episodes a day early, and you get exclusive access to tickets for live shows when they do go on sale.
Ad-free experience. You don't have to hear this shite.
This shite every goddamn week, and we forget to do a new one every month. So sometimes it's 3 months of the same advert.
Yep.
This has probably gone on long enough. You understand what I'm saying. Become an Ultra today. Patreon.com/enjoy an album. Link in bio.
Just be sound and do it.
Hello, album enjoyers. Happy New Year.
Happy Hogmanay.
Happy Hog Fest. I hope you guys have had a good one. And Merry Christmas to those who celebrate. Happy holidays, you have to say now. Otherwise, the woke police come and throw you in jail.
Is there anybody who doesn't celebrate Happy New Year, though? I feel like you can take umbrage with the Yuletide celebrations, but you can't actually...
But people operate on a different calendar, don't they? The Chinese New Year is at a different time.
Jewish people...
I think they have New Year.
They have a different calendar.
Right.
Why would they care about Christ?
Yeah. Does the calendar... Is it very specifically to do with...
What do you think happened 2023 years ago? 24, sorry.
Oh, no!
You've been done.
It's the biggest, stupidest thing I've ever said, and this is the first thing in the episode.
No.
Oh, well, because they're all named after, like, Roman gods and shit, aren't they? All the months of the year.
Yeah.
Yeah, so that... Which makes sense as well.
They were doing that as well.
It's good to learn.
My God.
Okay, so... Let's cut there and start again.
No.
Hello and welcome to the podcast, Christians. We are here in the year of our Lord, 2024, after death of the Lord our God, Jesus Christ. I went to Catholic school as well. Do you know what? This is my coffee, which I haven't even had a sip of yet.
Have a sip, man. I'll take it in.
There we go. So, are you a big New Year's guy?
No, I hate it.
You hate it?
Yeah, it's just such a big... it's fake.
It's a hard one for the sober people, New Year's, because it really is a day where everybody goes mad for it.
Yeah.
Even the people who don't drink that often tend to get drunk on New Year's. So I always work. I always do a gig.
Mm-hmm. I always do a gig.
Yeah.
Spent 2 years away though, doing gigs, and it's just sad.
Oh, in different cities, in hotels. I've never done that. I always gig in Edinburgh so I can walk home after. Wario Santa is here.
That's what he would say if he was sitting there.
That's true, I think.
in that exact tone.
This is good stuff.
Yeah, I spent it in Cardiff once.
Bleak. That sounds bleak. In the what's the hotel?
On the balcony of
The Citrus
Cardiff
Hotel.
Glee. As cool as the Glee is, you don't want to. Nobody was out in the balcony. I was like, why is nobody in the balcony? All the staff are out somewhere else. And it turned out because you couldn't see the fireworks you couldn't see the explosions in the sky.
Whoa!
From the
oh my god, is that why we're doing Explosions in the Sky as the first one of the year? That's so clever.
I don't even think about it, but they do have fireworks.
What?
They do have fireworks in New Year's, so this is a good album for
I thought that you'd done that by purpose, and that was what you were just revealing to me. But it turns out it was accidental
coolness.
Wow, well done. And what about? Do you feel like do you get wrapped up in the New Year, New Me kind of stuff?
I've got the same resolution every year,
which is
be less of a cunt.
Okay, and you fail by the January the 1st every year, just as everyone else is tucking into their fucking chocolate that they said they would never have again. You're out there being a cunt.
So is the goal to get loads of chocolate for Christmas and then eat it all by...
That's my goal. Yes. I get loads of chocolate for Christmas and try and eat every bit of it but before New Year, which actually sometimes I achieve too early. And then I've got 2 days where I think I should be eating chocolate, so I go out and buy more.
Yeah.
And until I give it up again on
try and speed run it
January the 1st. Yeah, but I'm too good.
Any percent.
Any percent run eating your own weight in Terry's chocolate orange and Toblerone.
What's
my
your resolutions this year?
I wish I'd known that you were going to ask that because my resolutions are pretty boring. I have realised that I work very well to like a schedule.
Right.
So this is so bleak when I say it out loud, but I'm going to make more of an effort to read and watch more films. So I'm going to set myself like a deadline of like a film a week.
Yeah.
A book. I have done a book a fortnight before, but
it's hard going.
I'm going to go back to. I'm just going to do a book a month, and then if I read more, great. Do you know what I mean? It's loads of time.
Year?
Yeah, it's loads of time. But it's more than I read last year because I didn't have a deadline. So I'm going to start with a book a month and see how I get on.
I done a new. Either an album or a new song that I'd never heard every day for a month this year.
Yep.
For 1 month.
I'm not worried about the music aspect of things because I do have a routine in which I have to listen to a lot of music already by
deadline.
You have
a podcast about music.
Yes, which I'm currently doing right this second. Not to be too meta on you. So that the music side of things is covered.
Yeah.
But books and films, are you okay? Resting your head on the microphone there? Do you need a little rest after this first 2 minutes of podcasting? Has it been a long Yuletide season for you? Chris is so tiny that he can rest his head on the muff of a microphone in order to get sleep, like a little dormouse.
Oh, we counted timorous beastie. Who went to panic in their podcast?
This is the kind of podcast we are. We go from miscalculating the date of the birth of Christ to quoting Rabbi Burns
for the second week in a row. Anyway, we have some news. Maybe we're a little bit Yuletide sleepy.
A little bit frazzled. But listen, we are going to actually, this is big news for the pod because we have had a long, hard think about, the pod is over. We're finishing it. No, it's not. We are basically, both Chris and I are going on tour this year and we're looking at the schedule of the pod and how we're going to fit in all the episodes and how stressful it is. And we've decided to basically just reel it back in a little bit so that we can continue to put in the work that we want to do to make the podcast as good as we think it is and as good as it can be.
There was a few episodes, not to shit on any of the episodes.
No. Don't do that.
I'm not going to do it. But I'm just saying, 1 or 2, I was like, I wish I had more time with that.
Yeah, okay. And we don't want to decrease the quality of the pod. So what we are going to do is we're going to move to, at the moment we're doing 6 episodes a month for public to Patreon.
Mental.
Which is a bit too much considering we're both touring comedians as our full-time jobs and it is now taking up as much time as a job. So we're going to go back to 4 episodes a month. 2 of them are going to be Patreon. 2 of them are going to be public. So the Patreons, the ultras who are already there, your life is going to be largely unaffected by this. It is the worms who will suffer. You're going to get 2 episodes, still 2 free episodes a month. And I think because of that, it means we can put in a lot more work to the episodes that we're doing. They can be slightly longer and we can continue to do the pod that we love without it affecting our mental health or, importantly, our relationship.
Our relationships with our families. I just.
and our relationship with music as well. Like sometimes we're trying to cram in recording sessions, and you're trying to listen to an album, and sometimes when you've only got 2 days to really listen to an album,
I just feel like I didn't do Anoni justice.
Yeah,
at the end of the Fringe.
At the middle of the
listened
Fringe.
to it a lot, but I was just like, I'm dead.
Yeah, we're not taking it in as much. So we want the podcast to continue to flourish after our number 11 on the list, Hot 100 Things That Happened Last Year. We want to get to number one.
It's not the list of the 100 things that happened last
We
year.
want to get to number
100 top cultural contributors
Yes.
in Scotland.
We're gonna
Not things that happened.
we're aiming for number one next
We're
year.
aiming for number one things that happened.
And by doing that, we're gonna do it less. But
Time
better.
magazine is going to be
Time Person of the Year.
Time Person of the Year. Jelensky, is that the cunt's name?
Yes.
Jelensky.
Taylor Swift. Enjoy an album.
Enjoy an album's going to be Time Magazine's number one person of the year next year. Or I'll eat my hat.
So this might not be a forever change. We're not sure at the moment. It's just something we need to do at the moment, particularly in the run up to our tours. Did you say tours? Yes, both me and Chris are going on tour this year. You can get tickets now. Lynn with Chronic Room, Christopher MacArthur Boyd, Scary Times, going all over the bloody country. We'll see you at some of those gigs. We've also got the live show at March 17th at the Glasgow Comedy Festival. Buy tickets for that now. We've had to extend the audience capacity because so many of you have bought tickets. We're very excited. There's lots of good things happening in the next 12 months. I'm bloody excited about the new year. I'm excited for you to be less of a cunt for a few weeks.
It's not happening.
Not happening. This week we're talking about explosions in the sky, but a fireworks themed New Year's special. We hope you enjoy it. We love you very much, and we'll see you soon. Hey, are your pubes too hairy? Do you need help with that?
Your groin to hairlicious, hirsute.
Is there too much of a positive environment for crabs and lice?
Too much fuzz on your coos.
When you get undressed in front of someone you wish to have a sexual time with, are you embarrassed by the state of your nether regions?
Having an examination done by a doctor and you're self-conscious about how hairy your balls and bits are.
Us too. What a shame there's no solution for this kind of problem.
No, wait, there is.
What?
Manscaped.
Oh my God, what is that? Tell me more.
Not manscaping, not manscaper, manscaped.
Only a stupid person would have called it that by accident 10 times in a row.
Yes.
Only an idiot.
It's the below the belt grooming experience. It's not blade free, it's blade full.
It's bladeful.
It's cut free. You won't
It's
cut
cut free.
I'm literally closing my eyes in the shower in the fucking rain coming down. I shower in the rain and I'm just not even looking, just buzzing.
If you do look, there's a little handy torch which highlights where you're about to trim. Yes.
I've never used the torch. That's cool.
Yes.
Attached to the
the
lawnmower.
Yes, there's a light that comes on that shows you exactly where you're trimming.
You can do it in the dark with your eyes closed and you still hit the mark.
You can do it dark with your eyes closed in the shower. It's waterproof. You can charge it using USB-C. So you can unplug your phone if you've got a USB-C, plug it straight into your pube trimmer.
You're on a train.
You're ready to go. You're on a train. Please only use these
Your
plug
phone's up to
sockets
75%.
for phones, laptops, and pube trimmers.
That's why they have that sign. Don't do that. But what you should
Sometimes
do,
I go into a coffee shop and I sit near a plug socket and I plug my lawnmower in so that I could jump into the bathroom, keep it fresh all times. I never want to see a single hair on my balls, otherwise I cry.
Yeah, I've got a cock like a dolphin.
It's
Grey.
and endangered.
Just if you want a funny gift for someone or
It's not funny.
It's not funny. It's
It's
fucking
useful.
serious.
Enjoy an album. No, what's the code again? Manscaped
Album
20. God almighty.
You get 20%
Can you
off.
believe we get paid for this? Album 20 for % off your first purchase and ongoing purchases, I think.
If you don't have a cock and balls, you can do it on other stuff, but it's mainly made for the cock and balls.
It's got the word man in the title, let's be honest.
Let's not get into that topic, man, but hey, it's good.
It's good stuff.
The pants are good.
And the underwear, the anti-chafing material is to die for. That's album 20.
die for it,
Don't die for it.
please.
Enjoy. Thank you. Bye.
You're listening to Enjoy an Album, the podcast where two comedians listen to some of the greatest albums of all time.
End, the enigmatic seventh album by Explosions in the Sky, was inspired by darkness, but became a loud, dramatic, wild rumination on life and death. End is perhaps the grandest Explosions in the Sky album, melding the quiet restraint and crushing feel of their early releases with the sonic texturing and ornate experimentation of their later releases, and their increasingly deep film and television scoring catalogue, influenced by personal taste stretching from classical to soul to experimental ambient music. That is a blurb supplied by the band's record label Bella Union.
Bella Union. That means good union in Italian.
Based in good one.
Bella.
Good one.
Oh,
Good one.
good one.
So you may be thinking, the more astute of you may have noticed that the episode title and the album that I just described
Different albums.
do not match.
Yeah.
There's been a little bit of a Christmas mix-up, and not in a fun Christmas movie way. In a
Well, it
Liam
could be a fun Christmas
has made
movie.
a mistake way, and I have.
No, it's not a mistake. It's just we're seeing things for different angles.
Well, we've accidentally covered different albums. That is a mistake.
Yeah.
Any way you look at it, I thought we were covering Explosions in the Sky's newest album. You have put into the grid that we use to cover Explosions in the Sky's more classic album, The World Is Not Cold.
So I did.
Dead.
So the way I seen it was, you thought something, I thought something. There's no right thing, but in actual fact, that we do actually
Let's
have a
actually
place.
check the schedule.
Let's look at the schedule. I think it might just say Explosions in the Sky.
Okay, in which case I'm out of the woods here. Recording schedule. Let's see. No, hang on.
Now this is podcasting.
Now this is podcasting.
A man desperately try to access his Google Drive for some kind of redemption. You're not going to find
I can actually hear Explosions in the Sky playing in the background as we reach this critical narrative moment. Oh, God almighty. It says, Explosions in the Sky, the Earth is not a cold, dead place, 2003. It's 100% my flub. I fucked it.
This is the point where the main character commits suicide.
Yeah.
Haven't realised that he's lost.
This is why we're going down to 4 episodes a month, by the way.
This is why we're losing the eps.
Because stuff like this is happening all the time. The amount of times we've come in and the
The amount of
booking,
times we are coming is
the amount of times we're coming is too much. We come 4 times an episode, 6 times a month. That's 24 comes a month on air.
My balls are raising ass.
But listen, I'm not too worried, right? Because here's the thing about Explosions in the Sky, and one of the reasons that we're covering them is that I am a long-term fan of their work.
Yeah.
I've seen them perform live twice. I've listened to the album that you've correctly covered, probably a good a few hundred to 1,000 times in my life.
Yeah.
Because it was constant reading music for many years as well. So I know the album back to front.
Are you going to be using this a lot for your new resolution? Reading one book a year?
Maybe. I'm going to read one book a year. A page a day.
That's a good idea. Really put respect to the page.
Or yeah, that's true. A page a day and really analyse, or a word a day.
Word a day. To quote you, this caterpillar's fucking hungry.
Yes. Wow, what a great joke that was that I wrote. I've not done that in years.
Should bring that back.
I should bring that back. I don't care how hungry that caterpillar is. Good stuff from me to me. So listen, we're doing Explosions in the Sky released an album this year. I went to see them live, and I think that was the impetus for us covering it on the pod. But I know the world is not a cold, dead place inside out. So I'm pretty chill with it. What did you know about Explosions in the Sky prior to this week?
I think we talked about this in Mogwai or Mogwai.
We love Mogwai.
Mogwai. Or the
Did I tell you when I saw that Smith's Mexican tribute band called Mexracy?
for your stag do that I wasn't invited to.
And you was invited.
Oh.
You were in Australia.
Oh yeah.
That doesn't count as not being invited in a different
It
hemisphere.
feels like it.
I actually invited you and you said, I can't come, I'm in Australia. You couldn't have been more invited. Anyway, they halfway through the gig, lots of people were dancing to International Playboy, sang in a Mexican voice, and then the music stopped and they went, I love to be here in Scotland. I like this band, Mogwai, like that.
It'd be funny to do a kind of playfully Mexican version of Mogwai.
Yeah. Anyway,
Thatcher death party.
so you spoke about Explosions in the Sky a bit on the Mogwai episode, I think.
I was big post-rock head when I was a teen.
Right.
I liked your Mogwai. I liked your Godspeed You, Black Emperor. I love this. I remember listening to this. Me and my pal Ryan bunked off school, dogging it, as they say.
You were raw dogging back
We were
off school.
Raw dogging. We went to a sandwich shop near my school called the Upper Crust. Not like a train station Upper Crust.
Right.
This was a independent Upper Crust.
Yep.
They had a sandwich there called the 250 because it cost £2.50.
Where do they get these crazy names?
And it was chicken mayonnaise, spicy chicken mayonnaise with
Chicken mayonnaise, spicy chicken mayonnaise.
chili powder over the top.
Right, okay.
It was the hottest thing. It was the first spicy thing I ever ate.
Mm.
It was so creamy. The mayonnaise, and it was so fucking hot. And they put it in the microwave, and the baguette was just soggy.
Yeah.
I remember eating that, and I was showing my friend Ryan this band I'd found, post-rock band, Explosions in the Sky. And I was eating this big baguette, and he was listening to the music, and he was like, this music makes anything seem like super dramatic. It's
Yes.
like film.
Including your sandwich.
And I'm just like,
It added a cinematic quality to your spicy creamy sandwich. That even to this day you can recall perfectly because it's attached to this this music.
which is a boon and a criticism of the music, I think.
Yeah, okay, interesting. I first discovered them, I think, via the television show Friday Night Lights, which I was into when that was coming out.
That's a sports show.
I mean, I think that is to be dismissive of the actual emotional crux of
Can
the show.
you give me a synopsis?
Okay, so on a surface level, it is about an American football team,
Sounds
a
pretty sporty to me.
college team,
Yeah.
but really it's a family drama.
Oh, his dad's a coach.
Yes, so I mean it's an ensemble piece for sure, but it is. They actually, when they were making it, they made a decision that they wanted to make a sports show, and this is how they put it. Not my words. The producers wanted to target a women audience.
Oh.
So they wanted to make us a sports-based show for women.
Something to get the cities wet.
So no, not in a sexy way.
Oh.
Although there are some sexy characters for sure, but more in it's almost like a soap opera about a sports team, but very well written, very good. If you were watching today, you would see some Stars of Tomorrow, which is now today.
Give me some names.
Meth Damon, what's his name?
Oh, him?
Yeah, he's in it.
Big Bad Boy?
Who's the coach in it? Oh my god, I'm gonna have to look this up quickly because he's actually a big actor.
Hey, big.
He's 6'6". Friday Night Lights. The coach, Kyla Chandler. You would recognize.
Oh, we all know him. He died recently in a hot tub.
What?
Kyle Chandler.
I don't think he died in a hot tub.
He had a hot tub.
Did I say hot tub? Oh no. He was in Manchester by the Sea. Have you seen that?
No, he's a big star because he was in Manchester by the Sea.
That was an Oscar-nominated film with Casey Affleck.
In 2016? No, I'm saying Kyle Chandler, he died in a hot tub.
He was in Grey's Anatomy.
You know what? You get the joke?
No, I don't.
Matthew Perry.
Oh. Right.
Because he died in a hot tub. He played a character called Chandler.
Yeah, okay.
Right.
Fuck. This is good stuff. Anyway, really good TV show. And Explosions in the Sky did the soundtrack for it. They also did the soundtrack for the movie, which was turned into the TV show. The movie was based off a book, but Explosions in the Sky had nothing to do with the soundtrack for that because it doesn't exist.
But it would if you read it. And it would be them. It would be them as well.
That's
to
true.
you, every book soundtracked by Explosions in the Sky.
Well, them and Godspeed and Mogwai, and actually Hayden Padigo of
This
recent.
fucking tiger keeps going to dinner, man. This is fucking...
Do you think that's what people say when they're reading The Tiger That Came to Tea?
This guy was at
This
dinner.
guy fucking loves dinner.
He did.
Yeah, he did.
Is it my sausages that can't eat in that wee cupboard?
He's a good lad. So and that was probably maybe it would be my introduction to post rock music. I don't know, really. Actually, thinking about it, whether they came first or Mogwai or Godspeed, I can't recall.
I just remember hearing about the genre on websites and being like, "What? What do you mean post rock? Post punk is like, oh, what if punk music, had the same kind of mentality, the same attitude, ideologically, but then it sounded like other genres, like it had funk in it or dance music in it, whereas post rock is completely different. It's more, I think we explained that as, if you're ever listening to post rock, it's like the instrumentation of a rock band playing more
Sort of classical pieces.
Classical pieces, not traditional pop song structures of a verse, chorus, bridge.
And it's
verse,
interesting
whatever.
because Explosions in the Sky have said that they do not consider themselves to be a post-rock band. They consider
Yeah.
themselves to be a rock band. But they also said at the same time, I honestly don't know if it would exist if Mogwai didn't exist.
Yeah, and it's also, it's like, yeah.
Yeah. You can say you're not. It's like My Chemical Romance and emo. Do you know what I mean?
Is this emo? Good question.
Yeah, I would say this is emo.
This is emo.
This is emotional.
Yeah. It's not post. I agree with him, actually. That is post rock, but it's not emo. It is emo, but it's not post rock.
I have been. I've seen Explosions in the Sky twice.
Yeah.
The first time was in Melbourne.
Melbourne.
It's called like the Melbourne Recital Centre or something like that.
Oh. Were you doing comedy over there?
No, I was seeing my wife.
Melania.
What?
Melania.
I was seeing Melania, my wife, because I am Donald Trump. Is that what you mean?
No. No, Melania's Barack Obama's wife.
No, it's Michelle Obama.
What? Why am I always going Melania?
I don't know, but it's funny to say. I imagine in the world in which that joke exists, Obama is in the same room as Melania Trump.
No,
We are all over the
I'm
place
fucked.
today.
Christmas. I don't know if you could do Melania.
Michelle? Would make more sense.
Melbourne.
Well, I was in Melbourne with Michelle Obama.
Mental health problems.
And they were playing the Melbourne Recital Centre, which is like it's traditionally a classical musical venue. And this band were playing it, and so it was all seated, all comfy.
That's it.
It was my first day in Melbourne,
Jet lagged.
heavy jet lagged. I'd arrived in early in the morning. The number one rule when you're jet lagged: don't sleep. So I stayed awake, went to this gig.
Stay woke.
My butt was staying woke. I was reading Malcolm X's book in the middle of whilst this gig was playing. I just can't help but read when the music's playing, you know?
You can't stop reading. Where are the people at
This
the gig?
is
who
why
are
I
like,
only read one book a year, because I can only read when Explosions in the Sky are playing. I'm following around the country, sitting in their gigs, listening. But I fell asleep.
Yeah.
I fell asleep because I was so jet lagged. And I was so comfy in this big comfy chair.
That sounds amazing.
They were rocking out. Do you know what I mean? They're not like Mogwai loud, but they are a rock band.
So yeah.
And yeah, I fell asleep. Have you ever fallen asleep at a gig or anything like that?
I remember seeing Beach House in 2010 on the Teen Dream tour, and they had these giant crystals floating like plum bombs.
Right?
Do you know what plum bomb is?
No.
The thing above a sim, the diamond above a sim's head.
It's called a plum bomb.
It's called a plum bomb.
Is that because that's how they talk? Plum bomb?
Plum bomb. Abba-nabba-doo-ba. That's my Sims impression. That's a good one. Da-da-da-da-da-ba, that's a good one. That's when he does the dance. Abba-nabba-doo-ba. In a way, Simlish is kind of the post-rock of speech because there's no lyrics.
It kind of follows the rules, but it doesn't follow the rules at the same time. Yeah.
100%.
I can only read when listening to Simlish.
Same.
Abba-dabba-dabba.
So they had these big plum bombs at the gig.
Right.
And they had, maybe I'm misremembering it because they had a video on Pitchfork where they played a live set, but inside a room covered in fur.
Right.
The whole room was furry white.
Okay.
So they weren't doing that in real life, but the way I remember it, they were. And I just remember thinking about that video, watching them live, and the music's so, it's like one of my favourite bands, Beach
Very
House.
dreamy.
And I was like,
Dreamscape, you could maybe describe it as. Dream
Yeah.
pop, even?
fucking Planescape Torment, man, you know.
What?
And like, all of this,
What does that mean?
it's like a Dungeons and Dragons game for the 90s.
Okay.
And it was so dreamy, and I was like hypnotized, and I was like, I could fall asleep any moment.
Yeah.
It was great.
Did you fall asleep?
No.
Fantastic story.
Well, I nearly fell asleep.
I nearly
bet
fell asleep once.
when people say, "Oh, it was a gig," like I nearly fell asleep, and it was awesome.
I also fell asleep at the I think a 2003 playoff final in Cardiff, West Ham versus Preston North
You
End.
fell asleep at a football game so loud.
I was drunk.
Oh,
I drank in 5 cans of Stella prior to the game, and I was maybe 15.
you were sober in Melbourne, though.
I was sober in Melbourne, but I was jet lagged, which is a type of drunk.
Yeah,
Really.
on your own avarice.
So anyway, that was their last tour. 7 years later, they released a new album, End.
And that's what you call a neighbourhood in London.
They, from my ends, yes. That's what it's about. No, they announced a tour called This Is the End, and they announced an album called End, and everyone went, "Oh my God, Explosions in the Sky are breaking up." And they went, "Oh no,
No.
no, what made you think that?"
Why would you think of that?
What? Oh, you think? Wow.
So basically, you've covered End, and I've covered the Earth Is Not a Cold Dead Place. But I actually listened to. Thank God, I listened to the one.
Lord above.
Thank Christ in hell. I listened to End. I was in, because we were going to cover this like a month and a half ago, and I was in London. I remember walking about Hyde Park, listening to The Earth Is Not a Cold Dead Place, and you know the way it made the sandwich eating dramatic when I was a teenager. I had herons flying over my head.
What?
I had herons flying over my head.
Herons?
I was in Hyde Park.
Yeah.
They have herons there. I love herons.
Yeah. Many of them? Enough to be
Upwards of
soaring
6.
over your head.
Upwards of 6.
Had you placed some little bread in your hair or
Don't
something?
care. They don't eat seeds. Or bread.
This a seedless bird. So I mean, listen, the album, the World Is Not a Cold Dead Place, is a beautiful album, which as I said, I've listened to many, many times. It's got that amazing song "Your Hand in Mine," which I still consider really to be Explosions in the Sky magnum opus.
I looked up, and I always do this when we cover.
Love when I get to say magnum opus.
Yeah, it's good, isn't it? I always do this when I'm covering like an old classic record, especially if it's a band where it's like, oh, they had that one huge album, and they've still kept going, they've kept the fan base, but they've never quite got that peak. And this is the most played record on all the streaming platforms.
Yes.
So I looked up what their set lists are like. So
Setlist.fm, is it?
Setlist.fm.
So,
baby.
but before you tell me, I just think there's such a fascinating website because it means that someone at every gig must upload the information.
Autism is a hell of a drug. It's a really good one.
Yeah.
Because it's great.
It's really
Someone should do that, and that's why evolutionarily autism's came along. One person in the group
in
has
order
to have that
to track
different
everything.
mentality, because if everybody thought the same, we'd be dead. A saber-toothed tiger or whatever.
It's great when you go to a gig and the next day, like, what was that song they played after that song? And you can go and check it on Setlist FM immediately. So good work. Shout out to the Setlist FM uploaders who must be throughout the gig marking down the name of each song. They must know all the bands work so well that they can instantly go, right, this is that song, this is that song, this is that song.
Maybe
this is
when
that
I
song.
was at the National and that wee guy was fucking crouched down playing, record their music, and he was just really. Did I tell you about that?
Yeah,
that
you
wee
spoke about
guy.
it on the episode, yeah.
He was crouched down, and he was like Abe's Odyssey going,
Help! Follow me.
follow me. He's always farting about like
It's been a great episode for doing impressions of games from the 90s.
Planescape Torment. Explosions in the Sky. So the first this was in November 20th, 2023. So not long ago.
Yes.
Regardless of when this comes out, not long ago. First song they played was First Breath After Coma, which is the first song on this record.
Yep.
And then they played Your Hand in Mine, which is the last song on this record. I mean,
Yeah.
they're really, playing these songs. This is a big record.
Yeah, this is the big record they still play. I mean, I wonder how it feels, if it's any different, because it is vocalless If it's the same sort of level of repetition, I guess, to playing songs live. I wonder if that's different at all.
I think you just noticed the crowd going, cunts crying. I bet cunts are crying at this. Based on the YouTube comments.
I saw them this year for this tour, and they played loads of songs off The Earth Is Not a Cold Dead Place in that big church gig in Manchester.
Oh, yeah, I saw Mother's Mouse. That what's that called? Union? It's not called Union Chapel, it's the one in London. It's called King George's Pit or something.
King George's Pit. Beautiful venue.
What's that church called?
Yeah, King George's Pit Church.
Wait a minute. Keep talking.
It'll be on setlist.fm, I'm sure.
Setlist.fm.
And it is definitely, I mean, the audience at a post-rock gig is quite a thing to behold because first off, everybody looks different.
Yeah. Albert Hall.
You feel Albert Hall. You feel like everybody is going to look the same. But actually, there's a real range of people who are into post-rock.
It's not like when you went to see that film.
Yeah, great anecdote. Talking Heads
film.
Yeah, when there was like 10 guys who looked like exactly like me. And I'm like, right, I'm in the right place. These are my people. And one of them was a fan of the pod.
Did you feel that way at the Explosion in the Sky? Did you feel like these are my people? Or were you like, these are all different types of people?
I thought these are all different types of people. There were sexy goth girls. There were like young teenagers.
Yeah.
There were old record store dads.
Right.
There was me and my wife, which probably a combination of those three things. Maybe not the young people thing.
You are old and young at the same time. It's good.
Yeah, thank you very much. And so it was a real mix of people, and they're a beautiful band to see live. And there's a thing that happens in post-rock live audiences where there's sort of just a general people just closing their eyes and just sort of rocking gently to the music. And it depends on the intensity of the post-rock band. There's kind of a scale.
Oh, yeah.
Your most intense would be your monos and your mogwais. Really loud, really urgent.
Yeah.
Godspeed is more like post-apocalyptic musical event stuff.
Yeah.
This is much more gentle,
Yeah.
softer. They love a big crescendo, but a Godspeed crescendo will build for 8 minutes.
And then at
Edges
the
you,
end, it's like
edges you
apocalyptic.
big style,
Yeah.
and then you fucking explode in a big ball of cum. Whereas this, the build up is a bit more subtle in all of their records, and then when the crescendo hits, it can hit you like a train.
Yeah.
So it's very powerful to watch live. Really, really good experience. I will say, not a huge amount of information about the members of this band.
No.
I've done some digging though.
The only thing I know. Oh, you go ahead then.
Well, I'm waiting for a jingle
Stick a pass show. Stick a pass show.
in the style of Explosions in the Sky. They don't sing. They don't sing.
Sometimes.
No, they don't sing.
Did they ever do like?
There's one album where they sort of use
samples?
samples and stuff,
Yeah.
but not really. So it would be an instrumental Street Caposso jingle.
That's really not pleasant to hear for me personally, and probably the listener, and Merlin probably.
So they're from. They were formed in Austin, Texas.
Okay.
But they're not originally from there. The drummer, Chris Haraski,
Yeah.
is from Chicago. All I could find out about him is that he was at the University of Texas Film School in 1999, and he was looking to join a band because he liked playing music. He
Went to film school.
he put flyers in the local record shops with the words "Wanted, sad, triumphant rock band."
I like that.
And he worked at a bookshop, I found out, called Book People in Austin.
I'm falling in love with this cunt.
So I mean, there's only so much you can gauge from that. I'm sure some posh people do work in bookshops, you know.
Yeah.
He didn't own the bookshop. What can I tell you? The rest of the lads, the guitarist Manaf Rayani.
That's not how Karl Marx delineated between the working class and middle class. Do you own a bookshop?
It was an independent bookshop, if that clarifies anything.
Okay.
The guitarist Manaf Rayani worked at Waterloo Video, which was next to Waterloo Records, where he saw this ad, and he, the other members of the band, Michael James and Mark Smith, very hard to find any information about Michael James and Mark Smith because they both have the most boring names possible. So Googling Mark Smith's
Mark
school.
Smith tattoo. Oh, good.
Yeah, it's useful. But they were all mutual friends from school anyway, from a place called Midland, which is 20 minutes up the road from Odessa, which is where the original college football team that the film Friday Night Lights are from. It. I mean, it's based on the book is journalistic coverage of that year's school. So the reason they were invited to join the film is because they're from the area. So not only did they have a connection, but they also said they remember the high school football's success from when they were young. So they were attached to it. So, and that's about as much information as I could get about them in terms of background. So they're one of these bands. They don't put a lot of their personal life on stuff.
More importantly, they were responsible for 9/11. Is that correct?
That is correct as well. So their second album, Those Who Tell the Truth Shall Die, Those Who Tell the Truth Shall Live Forever.
Which sounds like something a terrorist would say.
It came out a week before 9/11.
Yeah.
And on the liner notes of the record, there was a quote that said, "This plane will crash tomorrow." So at the time, people were like, what the fuck did these guys know?
Yeah.
Were they involved somehow?
Did they contact Jackie Chan to say stay off the plane?
What?
Jackie Chan was going to be on the 9/11 flight and then he chose not to go on it and he didn't fly.
That can't be true.
That's true. You think Jackie Chan's talking shit? Are you calling Jackie Chan a liar?
I mean, God, can you imagine a separate universe where Jackie Chan was on the plane?
He would have been fucking rolling about the ground.
Absolutely.
Knocking his terrorists out.
He'd have been using one of the, all the stuff, apparatus on the plane to knock them out.
He would get his foot stuck in a bucket full of ice, a champagne bucket, and he'd be spinning about, knocking terrorists' fucking hats off their heads.
He'd be using...
How did they allow get in this plane? He's fucking going through the rungs. and stuff.
Punching his arms through life jackets to...
That's that. It's always, that wasn't a Chinese noise. That was a punching someone and then hurting your hand noise. That was like one of the noises.
Very similar, some would say.
Well, I guess the only person I've ever
Indistinguishable.
seen do that is Jackie Chan. He's the only guy who punches stuff and hurts his hand.
God almighty, to think that Jackie Chan could have saved us from 9/11. Do you remember, it reminded me of all the other 9/11 conspiracies, my favourite of which was about wingdings. Do you remember that?
Yeah, if you type in 9/11, Al-Qaeda and wingdings, the images that show up is two buildings, a plane and an explosion.
Yeah, so that's not actually true.
No, it's not true.
But I remember being shown it with the letters Q33, which was like an explosion and two skulls or something like that. And someone told me this was the flight number for 9/11. You put it into wingdings. And so I Googled that today.
It's not true either.
And it took me to a subreddit called reddit.com
Reddit.com.
/the glitch.
Oh.
And this is like an offshoot from Mandela. What's it called? Mandela syndrome or something, where
You would remember it that way. I remember it differently. Nelson Mandela. What's it called?
the Mandela effect.
Yeah.
And this is a theory, conspiracy theory, that there's like a group misremembering amongst society.
Yeah.
So when Nelson Mandela died, there was a large amount of people who were like, I remember him dying in the 80s. And they believe that history has been maybe altered a bit, or like facts are being changed in front of them.
Yeah.
But the glitch is an offshoot of this. And this is whereby it's kind of similar, but like unexplainable things happen. And if you want to lose an hour of your time to some of the stupidest people alive, I highly recommend going onto this Reddit.
What glitches were up there?
There was one that was, I just came out of my bathroom and I'd put a towel on the towel rack. And when I came back in, the towel rack was in a different position. This is a glitch in the Matrix.
What's wrong with these cunts?
Lot of fun though to go down on that. So it was kind of unfortunate.
Do you have any Mandela effects that you genuinely believe in? That you're like, wait a minute. Or are you just conscious of the fallible nature of memory? that these people seem. If you just showed the film Rashomon to these people, it would just completely radicalize them.
I sometimes get like a bit of Mandelaed with my age in certain things. Like I'll tell people a story and I'll say, oh, that happened when I was like 25. And then someone will say, that happened like last year. I'm like, what the fuck? And I feel slightly Nelson Mandelaed by that.
I feel
To use his
Mandelaed by
full
that. Yeah. I feel like I was in jail for however long. By the ANC.
long walk to freedom.
Yeah.
What a guy.
Long walk to being 25.
So they were. It was unfortunate timing for that album because nobody really wanted to listen to a really dramatic, sad album the week after.
The week before?
Well, yeah, the week before. And
After they were like, all right, here we go. Let's.
No, the album didn't do well as a. Whereas a year later, U2 released that was their album with Beautiful Day. Front cover of them is in an
Nuclear
airport.
Bomb.
Yeah.
How to dismantle a nuclear bomb.
Is it that one? No, it's called Beautiful Day, I think, the album. Where they're on the front cover, they're in an airport, and the whole idea is they're going, look, everything's fine.
Bunch of freaks. Can't wait to do U2. And by that, I mean kill them. Or at least smash their heads in.
Explosion in the Sky, original name was Breaker Morant.
Terrible. They would not have been big with that name.
Do you know who Breaker Morant was?
No.
Wikipedia says he was an English drover, horseman, bush poet, military officer, and war criminal.
You're burying the lead.
I think start with war criminal. Yeah.
Well, he was a bushwalker, I suppose you would call him.
What a Tinder bio. Love to
Last
travel,
picture's him with fucking-
love food, love going on long walks, and war crimes. Melania?
Necklace made of ears.
Yeah, Breaker Morant, he was involved in the Anglo-Boer War. He was one of the first British military personnel to be court-martialed for murdering people.
That was his job.
Yes, but he
Did you
did
see
it.
the Napoleon film?
No, I haven't seen it
There's
yet.
a bit at the end of it where it goes.
Is this going to be a spoiler?
Yes.
Yeah, okay. Well, then don't tell me, and also don't tell the listeners because that will annoy people.
You can't be spoiled by the story of Napoleon.
He did what? Okay.
His wife was Josephine. So there's a bit at the end of it where, spoiler alert, he lives in Paris.
Fuck, man. Now he died. No, Napoleon's dead. That's fucking ruined that film for me. I can't believe that.
At the end of it,
I was hoping he'd come on
it
as a
goes,
guest.
Oh, he killed this many people in this war, in this battle. Killed this many people in this battle, and you're supposed to go. I can't believe he killed so many people. He was a fucking general.
Yeah.
Like his job description was person
This
killer.
is, we've got to turn into Roy Keane here. It's his job.
It's his bloody job. And I think, what is Roy Keane? Is he not the Northern Irish guy who's a bit too serious?
He's just Irish.
Right, sorry.
Yeah. And
Fuck me.
there's like famous clips.
Where's he from?
I think I'm assuming Dublin area.
Right.
That might be wrong. Maybe Cork.
He's the serious guy on TV.
Yes.
Yeah.
Football
He
pundit.
says, stop playing around all the time.
I don't know if he says that. Here, stop playing around.
I
No, he
think
says it's his job. That's his thing.
It's his job.
So it's like, why is he celebrating so much scoring a goal? It's his job. He's supposed to score goals.
Yeah,
So
which is
that's the meme.
Yeah, that's his famous quote. Stop.
Welcome
not
back
being
to Liam
serious.
Explains Football Memes to Chris.
It's interesting what's happened to post rock. I think I was thinking about this because I feel like in the 80s there was a thing called music. It's kind of instrumental elevator music they called it. And it was kind of
Yeah.
vocalless, lyricless, smooth jazz.
Cockless, some would say.
Some would say cockless. And I feel like the modern day equivalent of that is lo-fi beats to study and relax to.
Right, yeah.
Which is kind of instrumental, loosh, background music.
Loosh.
I'm not
Sean Connery.
lisping loose. Loosh is a word.
Lush.
Loosh.
Loosh.
L-O-U-C-H-E.
L-O. Oh, yeah, okay.
Loosh.
Yep.
Loosh.
Loosh.
Your fanny's loosh.
Mish money penny.
Mish money penny.
Fanny's so loosh. Trying to get my sausage in your loosh fanny. And it's falling out.
Horrible. You made that bad. And that was you. And Loosh. And I feel like
My favorite artist is Loosh Capaldi.
Loosh Capaldi. That documentary made me shat.
I shat all over my toilet sheet.
It made me shed all down my legs. This is why we need to go to 4 episodes a month, because this content's too good. Unfortunately, you can't do this 6 times a month.
You can't.
You can read 1 book and you can do 4 episodes of a podcast
that's
a
how it
month.
works.
That's how months work. And I feel like maybe post-rock is I like it and I loved it and I do continue to like it, and I feel like maybe it's a wee bit music, lo-fi beats to study and relax to in terms of just...
I really think that's a harsh... because...
I mean it in a positive way somehow.
Yeah, it doesn't sound very
No, it
positive
doesn't.
because I do think that, I mean, even though that is largely what I use it for,
To study and relax too. Even though it's incredibly hi-fi beats to study and relax too.
I do think that there is an emotional depth to it that is largely absent from lo-fi beats to study and relax to.
I think there's
There's a real but come on, there's a real cinematic quality to this which elevates it above that. And there are some songs in particular, Your Hand in Mine, First Breath of a Coma, First Breath After a Coma, that are really beautiful modern pieces of classical music that just so happen to be using guitars, and they're so evocative. I mean, you just have a quick look on the YouTube for any of these and you will see thousands of comments of people saying, this I played this song at my wedding, I played this song at my funeral, this song makes me cry every time. You don't have that on fucking DJ Spunkhead.
That's not the name of the guy.
Doing
Probably do though.
no, you just get people saying, I love to read and study to this.
Yeah. On his YouTube comment of the week.
Now I can see your phone here, and I can see a big block of text. That block of text is making me nervous. It's not the album cover.
This it looks like that one cover.
Yeah.
This song was played at a concert that I attended with someone that I just ended a relationship of 1 year to the love of my life.
There was a lot of those on here.
She was my first in more ways than just intimacy. And she was one of the most amazing, interesting, beautiful women I have ever met. I mean, truly gorgeous. We clicked so well and had amazing chemistry, and I am really gonna miss her. But she could just not envision me as a husband, and we could no longer fight the facts. There were other issues, and I did have some shortcomings. But ultimately, I realized after the breakup that you can't force a relationship, and you and the other person deserve to be with someone who can see that future with each other. It didn't mean they didn't care or didn't love you or didn't try. It just means they were not your person, and vice versa. There will be that one in your life you loved more than anything, but just because the feelings are there does not fix the underlying problems, which we did try and work on. I will always think of her and love her as a person with all my heart, and I hope she lives a great life, and maybe one day we will meet again in this life or the next.
So I don't necessarily think that that's a completely unhinged, crazy thing to say. I do think it's unhinged to put it
That's
on your YouTube.
That's to me is the nature of the unhinged thing. It's okay to miss someone. Your brother dies of cancer and you listen to the Fugees with them or something, you know. Fair enough.
One time.
You listen to it one time, maybe twice with him. That's fine. But
2 times.
to put it on to put it on the internet and share. I just broke up with someone who wanted to be my wife, but they didn't want to be the wife. So
Yeah. I mean,
you need to get it out.
mine was much shorter. And this is
Right.
on Your Hand and Mine as well. This is from @SayTechFreak999. Oh, he's a freak. Just says, rest in peace to the German fighter pilot that died today in a mid-air collision during training.
What? Today?
This piece of music is more than fitting. That's it.
What? To me, that is the criticism, right? is that it can soundtrack the death of a German fighter pilot, or it can soundtrack eating a sandwich in 2008, and you remember it for the rest of your life.
I just love the mid-air collision.
I mean, it's fucked up because sure, if it's a mid-air collision to another, the pilot died as well. Was he colliding with a fucking comet?
Well, you never know. A mid-air collision, it could have. I mean, maybe it's about 9/11.
I guess.
It was a training exercise for some.
For the Germans.
Yeah.
That's the Mandela effect. I thought Germany did 9/11.
He went home, that guy, after seeing one of his fucking close military friends torn apart in the sky. That was an explosion in the sky. Do you think it's a joke, maybe? And that's what he's...
I don't think so.
No, I don't think so either. I think the wording's too weird.
Yeah.
He saw his mate get fucking torn apart in a
It's
plane.
his mate.
Went home.
I think this guy is genuinely in fucking Tacoma, Washington, watching TV. A plane explodes in Germany, and he goes, "I'm going to go to YouTube to say this is a perfect song for today."
Yeah. Wow.
This fucking world is crazy.
Any tattoos?
When we do a post-rock version of this.
Yeah, I'll give it a go. Dun dun down down. Dun dun down down. Dun dun down down. Dun dun down down.
Yes. So this is
That was actually not as bad as I thought it was going to
that
be.
was really beautiful, and I think, and it just shows you how fucking easy it is to make this pish. I don't know how to write choruses. Don't worry about it. Just go.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
And then you get a 10-minute song.
So what we have here is a sort of whose is this? Whose tattoo is this?
I fucking found it and I can't find the information. It's I believe it's a Californian hardcore band.
Right.
I can't remember the name of them. The guitarist has this tattoo, had a Spanish name, and this is the album cover for not this album, but the album before this album. No, the album after.
Right.
This is the album after the one we were
So
talking
this
about.
is somebody in a punk band has an album cover that is not the album we're covering tattooed on their arm.
All of a sudden, and this is one of the ones I had in my iPod as a teenager. All of a sudden, I miss everyone. And I
Now
have a
it's
hot-
interesting you say that
Yeah.
because you have just got that up on your phone.
Yeah.
The album cover I can see,
Yeah.
and that is not the picture
That is
which
the
we are
picture.
looking at.
Are we getting a boat?
Let me see. Let me
Look,
see.
Don't read my text.
Yeah, okay,
Who's texting
right.
me? Susan McCabe. I get texts by people who have specials on BBC. Oh, that is.
Yeah, okay.
You were trying to get me there.
I've also got a man in the boat. I've got
I was
an
going to
explosion
say that.
tattoo-
Yeah, you got
tattoo.
explosions in the sky / Ernest Hemingway tattoo / Brian Chatton.
Yeah, yeah, the whole bunch.
All the lads.
So this looks like, do you know that mural that's down in Leith?
I don't go to Leith.
Wow.
I'm a Morningside guy.
Wow. Okay. Well, there's a beautiful mural up on Great Junction Street. It's been there for many years, and this kind of looks reminiscent of that. In this close-up version, more so than on the album cover, it looks like the sort of old working class murals. They used to be part of stained glass windows and stuff.
Now look at it. It's actually a very bad version of the album.
Yeah,
It's
yeah.
ugly compared to the real one.
It's got the Twin Towers in it.
That's not the maybe it is.
Yeah.
But anyway, I just wanted to say I think people get a lot of people have this tattoo of this album cover. Who the explosions kind of, and I think it's because the album cover is so untattooable.
The album cover
Can we
for
take
The
a look
World
at
Is
the-
Not a
can we
Cold
take a look at
Dead
the album
Place is one of those album covers is just a series of words.
It's just words.
It's just the
It's like Paramore.
yeah, it's just the title of the album over and over again, sort of scrawled, much like a serial killer might scrawl the whereabouts of his next victim.
We take a look at the album as we decided good or thought.
The world is.
fire.
I love the bit at the end of the Muppet Christmas Carol where Gonzo comes on and says, "The world is not a cold, dead place."
I love the bit of the Muppet
Come
film
on,
where Kermit
guys.
rides a bike. Can you see his wee legs pedaling? You go, how did they do that?
Oh, it's movie magic. Movie magic.
Mandela effect. It was a motorbike.
Is that a glitch?
Can we get back to the tattoo? Is this a glitch? Okay, are you gonna a woohoo or a boohoo? Given that you could not recognise it as what it is,
If I saw someone with that tattoo, I'd think it was like I
reference
would
to
think.
Leaf.
Yeah, I would think that their family are dockers in Baltimore.
is that why you got that?
Yeah, my dad is a
I'm from Baltimore.
yeah, he works the freights in on the River Styx. Yeah, so I actually quite like it. I'm going to give it a woohoo from me.
I'm giving it a boohoo, but I do like yours, even though it's
They're very different. They are very
they're
different.
the same tattoo. Thanks very much. Can we go back to the logo?
Okay, so
Great, thanks.
what's your takeaways from this album then?
So I fired up. It's an Xbox thing. You might not know about it. Gamep ass.
Excuse me,
Gamep ass.
Gamep ass.
Xbox.
What is
You
that?
played this Gamep ass?
Gamep ass.
I write it down. We got a pen. It's like an Xbox thing, or you get it on PC. It's for
Okay.
games or something. It's like Gamep ass.
Oh right, I understand now what you're doing. Okay, Game Pass. Right, just for anyone who was a bit slower than me. Gamep ass. Right, okay.
Gamep ass.
Okay.
I read about it on reddit.com.
Yes.
And
I'm so annoyed with you for doing that to me. Your New Year's resolution has come to an end already.
My New Year's resolution is stop doing weird jokes that you would get. Don't like,
So anyway,
so Kyle Chandler's like, he died in a hot tub because Matthew Perry died in a hot tub. He played Chandler.
yeah. Okay.
I was on Get My Pass the other night. Get my ass. And he's drinking his wheat juice. And I fired up the old Microsoft Flight Simulator.
Have you played that? Now that's interesting to me
Why?
because it's very, very difficult. Requires a lot of patience and training.
So does my life.
No.
Okay.
And I wouldn't have you down as someone who would enjoy Microsoft Flight Simulator.
I hated it.
Right? Yeah. Okay.
It was shite.
Yeah.
But
What else do you expect to come out of Gamma Pass?
listen, I'm further ahead than you are in Baldur's Gate 3, so shut up.
So you were playing Microsoft Flight Simulator.
Well, my girlfriend was playing it. And the menu music was like explosions in the sky. It was like music. It was like post-rock. And it really made me go, oh, that's what made me realise, oh, post-rock's kind of became a bit of a cliche, you know?
I think there's probably a lot of bad, but you get that with hip. I mean, that's like writing off hip hop beats as lo-fi beats to study and relax to.
A wee bit. But I'll say what I like about Godspeed You, Black Emperor,
Yep.
is that it means something. You know, they're saying, I guess it's not really that I prefer it, it's just that it's different. You'll get a lot better reviews for Godspeed You, Black Emperor than you will for this, and it's because Explosions in the Sky kind of are just making triumphant sad post-rock music, and you can feel however you want to feel about it. Godspeed You, Black Emperor are like, this is about capitalism, this is about the death of the world, and I respect that. But Explosions in the Sky are like, it's just pretty, it's just emotions, you know?
I
It's
think
just raw emotion.
Yeah, I think it's a little bit unfair. I think there's a lot more to it than that. It's not a completely blank canvas for you to put your own interpretation onto it, you know.
How is it not?
Well,
It's just the song titles and the way you feel.
but there is, I mean, in all music, throughout all history, there are certain ways of making you feel things using just music. And I think that Explosion in the Sky do that in the album you covered and the album that I covered.
Yeah, your one's good as well.
Individually.
Can't believe we done that.
I think it's because if anyone could do it as easily as that, then you know, if it was truly comparable to the menu music from Microsoft Flight Simulator, then I think more people would be listening to that. There is something completely soulless about that background music, and this isn't soulless. There is soul
it's
in it.
beautiful.
And yeah,
I remember when I met my girlfriend at the Fringe, and then she went to Europe, and then while she was on that trip, she said to me, "Hey, I can either come back to Scotland and see it, or I can continue my trip. What do you think?" And because we kind of hooked up at the Fringe, but then I'd been talking to her every day after while she was traveling all over Europe, and I gave her this playlist of. She said, "Are you getting? Well, listen to some instrumental music," and I had stopped listening to post rock at that point in my life, but I remembered, oh yeah, I used to listen to a lot of instrumental
you
stuff.
made your girlfriend a post-rock playlist.
I made my girlfriend a post-rock playlist.
Wow.
To secure the bag.
That is so cool.
And I put on Emperor, Godspeed You Black Emperor.
Yep.
I put on
Mispronounce the name twice.
Godspeed You Black Emperor.
Good to have someone from the Sims here again.
Godspeed You Black Emperor. And I put on, I messaged her today on the train here, and I messaged her and I said, I think I sent this to you on when I was here. So okay, because I sent her all this music and I said, hey, what was that Explosion in the Sky song?
Did you chat to your girlfriend who you live with on Facebook Messenger?
Facebook Messenger.
What
It's
the
the only
fuck?
person I talk to on Facebook Messenger.
That's so messed up. Nobody uses that.
Well, some people do. This is a very kind of Eurocentric thing that you're doing, and I thought better of you. But
Sorry, you're not Eurocentric. Where are you from?
in Australia, I don't know if you know any Australian people. In Australia, they don't use WhatsApp. That's a British thing. To quote someone I was speaking to, the only reason an Australian person would use WhatsApp is if they were fucking a backpacker
Right.
or
okay.
your wife.
Yeah.
Not fucking your wife. If you shut up. Do you remember
It's the only
name-
reason I use WhatsApp.
to talk to your wife?
Fuck my wife.
Oh yeah, okay. Fuck, that's bad. Do you remember the name of the song by Explosions in the Sky that I put on a playlist for you when you left Edinburgh to go traveling?
This is the message you sent your girlfriend.
Yes, it was a playlist of instrumental music, and she sent back "Your Hand in Mine."
Right, so there
She
you go.
listened to it on top of
So
a
you-
mountain in Norway.
Wow. So that sounds beautiful. What you didn't send her the menu music to Microsoft Flight Simulator or anything similar?
Didn't have to, because I sent her Explosions in the Sky 7 years ago. It means that now we can experience the menu music for Microsoft Simulator together.
I think if I was a member of this band and I heard someone disparagingly compare it to Microsoft probably AI written
Post-rock menu music.
royalty free music, I would kill myself. I would hijack a plane and I would try and take down the Twin Towers all over again.
Yeah,
That's a
'cause they
terrible
did
thing
do
to say
that.
about someone.
I like it.
Doesn't sound like it.
I don't think something has to be good, and I can notice bad things about something. I actually like it.
We've had over the last year or so a number of interactions with fans of the pod who have said that through this pod they have discovered Godspeed and Mogwai. They're like two of the main ones that people maybe hadn't known before who they've gotten into as a result of the pod. And I would say if you like those bands, then this is someone else definitely to check out.
If you like menu music or
Wow.
the
I don't think you even really think this.
no, if you do like, dude, if you like the Microsoft Flight Simulator menu music, you're gonna love this because this is better. But also, if you like those bands, but you want something that doesn't,
I think
really
it
have
would be a
anything
good
to say,
music to listen to whilst playing Microsoft Flight Simulator.
100%. It's good music. That's what I'm saying. It's good music to do anything to, and that can be fall in love with someone alone on top of a mountain in Sweden, like my girlfriend did, or it can be eat a sandwich when you're 14 with Ryan.
Yeah, the soundtrack to your life.
£2.50.
Yes.
You could ask for a $2.75 and they put extra chicken in.
What song should we put on the playlist then?
Your Hand in Mine, Bagsy that.
Yeah, okay. So my fun thing is that I was originally going to put on a song, obviously, from the album that I thought we were covering.
I convinced someone to move to Scotland with that song. That's great, isn't it?
And,
Oh, you can put in one of those songs though.
oh no.
Why don't you put that in as your playlist choice?
I'm going to put on from the new album, Loved Ones, which is, again, beautiful bit of music. This whole thing, the whole album, I think, is joyous and revelatory. It always feels like it's at that moment in the film where everything is just clicking and coming together.
Yeah.
And Loved Ones is my favorite example of that on the new album, End.
I thought it was so interesting, having not really listened to them since like 2008 or something. And this album came out in 2003, and this was the one I listened to most. To then not really check in on a band for 20 years, and they've evolved. They're
Yeah.
still doing the same kind of thing, but it's really evolved in a lot.
Well,
more.
it got me thinking about some of the bands we covered in the last year. We covered Paramore and Metallica, who are at similar stages of their career of, releasing their 7th, 8th, or 20th album. And what do you do at that stage? The most recent one is Explosion in the Skies is their 7th album. Do you just sort of spoon feed your old fans the same thing that you've always been doing, a la Metallica? Or do you continue to use your starting point as your sort of foundation, and then try new things that aren't radical experimentations. And I think that the new Explosions in the Sky album is the perfect balance.
I thought it was lovely.
Yeah, really good.
It's not what we covered this week.
No,
You've made a mistake.
Let's not dwell in the mistakes of the past.
Listen, we all make mistakes.
Unless, of course, we're talking about the war crimes of Barack Obama.
The war crimes of a breaker. What was that guy's name?
That fucking freak.
That war freak.
So my other song for the playlist, I'm going to put on International Playboy by Mextracy.
It's not acceptable.
It's a Mexican cover of Morrissey's Last of the International Playboys, and it fucking slaps.
I don't know if you can even put this on. I want to put the shopping music from The Sims on. That's really good.
Let's see if it's on Spotify. The Sims.
Can you hear it?
The Sims original soundtrack. It is there.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
And they have a number of songs,
Groceries.
There's a song called Boss Sim Nova, which is nice. So I guess it'll be groceries.
No, I don't think so. Under construction. See what that sounds like?
Well, we can't play it.
Click it.
In case it's.
This fucking rocks. Boom, ding, ding, ding.
Okay, right. So I don't know if you heard that, but that was Under Construction by Jerry Martin from the Sims original soundtrack.
That's going to be my choice. And that's a great song. We'd love to do the soundtrack.
I would love to hear a Mexican Smiths tribute band cover Under Constructions from the Sims soundtrack.
That's what it sounds like.
There's the fucking
It's Mexican Sim Morrissey showing up on his motorbike.
Right, it's been a chaotic episode, but I have enjoyed it.
Charming hermano.
It's good to know that if needed, we can cover different albums at the same time.
I think every week, let's just talk about two different things.
I mean, we could cover twice as many albums over the course of a year by just doing different things.
Correct.
Would it be listenable? Probably not.
Well, you tell me based on this hour. As you can see, we have to stop doing 6 a month. So we're doing 4 a month now.
4 months, this never happens again. Although, again, if we do this, we could actually do 12 a month.
That would be good.
Thank you so much for listening. We hope you enjoyed it. Go check out Explosions in the Sky if you haven't heard them already.
Yeah. Do some serious reading to these guys.
Do some serious reading.
Simulate some flights.
And have a great week and a happy new year. Love you, bye.
Peace and love in the new millennium.
Peace and love in the new year.
2024.